This is a recording of this year's Virtual Residency Fair. We'd like to take the time to thank the programs that volunteered their time to present to this year's applicants. This year's PM&R Scholars Virtual Residency Fair is supported by PM&R Recap and Ultrasound Guidance. PM&R Recap is the leading resource for your physiatry board preparation, clinical preparation, audition rotations, and beyond. PM&R Recap offers 35 hours of review videos, hundreds of review questions, and oral board cases to help you become the best physiatrist that you can be. Head to pmnrrecap.com to learn more. Ultrasound Guidance is the innovative new online ultrasound learning platform that gives you instant access to expert instruction. With rapid scans and complete scans of every joint and peripheral nerve, Ultrasound Guidance is the perfect way to jumpstart your MSK ultrasound learning. Visit ultrasoundguidance.com to learn more.
So while we're getting the PowerPoint up there, just a warm good evening to all of you guys. My name is Ranjiv Chabra. I'm one of the PGY3s at Temple's PM&R residency program. And tonight, we're all truly honored to present our program. I'm joined by my two exceptional colleagues, Kevin Leahy, our chief resident, and Rocco DeAssis, who's a third-year resident at Temple. And we're excited to share our insights and our experiences with you. We also are fortunate to have our esteemed PM&R residency program director, Dr. Ernesto Cruz, on the call tonight, who will be delivering some inspiring words to kick off our presentation. So without further ado, Dr. Cruz, you can take it away.
Oh, are you guys able to see that, by the way?
Can you see me? Hi. Hi, good evening to everyone. Thank you very much for attending this nice gathering organized by Ranjiv as well as Rocco and Kevin, one of our chief residents. I hope that tonight you will get some answers to some of your questions about our residency program. And I wish you well. And I hope that in the future, we will have an opportunity to work together and see each other. And hopefully you will be part of the Temple PM&R program. Again, good luck to everyone, and hope you will consider us during the application period. Good night.
All right. So like Ranjiv and Dr. Cruz had said, my name's Kevin. I'm one of the chief residents here at Temple. We also have Lenny, one of the other chief residents in the chat to be able to answer questions as well while we do this. So let's get started. So obviously this is Temple University Hospital. A little bit of history on Temple itself. Temple was previously a night school for the working class of North Philadelphia, founded partially by Dr. Russell Conwell, a Baptist minister who also purchased Samaritan Hospital in 1892, a 20-bed house, really, that started as humble beginnings, but slowly we built from that. Residency training positions started around 1930 and expanded out of that. Like I said, we have these sort of humble beginnings, as you can see on the top right-hand side. We have the original building that on the next slide, you can see as sort of expanded upon it. Next slide, please, Rocco.
Yeah.
You're good.
There we go.
So you can still see the original building next to the new hospital, but Temple's really gone worldwide. Temple University with campuses in Japan and in Rome, as well as multiple hospital campuses around the Philadelphia area. Next slide. Temple's PM&R department itself is very historic. Frank Cruson is considered to be one of the founders of PM&R. Came to Temple in the 1920s and founded the first physical medicine department in the country and possibly the world. He stayed on. He eventually became the dean of the medical school itself, eventually moving over to the Mayo Clinic, but returning to Temple in the 60s and actually starting the residency program at Temple, which graduated his first residency class in 1967. Frank Cruson obviously went on. He's the AAPM&R's Lifetime Achievement Award is named after him. So he's a valuable member of this specialty in history. Temple's a very old historic residency. We have a gigantic alumni base. I was previously quoted 5% of physiatrists nationally did their residency at Temple, with numerous past AAPM&R presidents and ACRM presidents as well. And throughout the course of residency as well as fellowship interviews, you interact with people who previously did their residency at Temple. So having that gigantic alumni base is a big strength in our program. Next slide, please. That history has been continued. We're really proud of our graduates last year. We had two separate, everyone matched into the specialties that they wanted to. We had two separate people match into really competitive pain medicine fellowships at Monty, as well as UC San Diego. Two people at Great Sports and Spine fellowships. And we also had two people go into spasticity, both at Jefferson and Moss Rehab. And finally, Danielle went over to do her EMG fellowship at the University of Vermont. She just started. And then the two other reigning residents went on to do private practice, one of whom's already the medical director over in Minnesota. And there they are with Dr. Cruz right there at the graduation last year. Next slide, please.
All right. So as you heard from Kevin, our PM&R program has trained hundreds of bright and engaging physiatrists over the many years. And these physiatrists have helped shape the specialty for what it has become today. Dr. Cruz has been hard at work wearing his hard hat over here on the left since 2020, restructuring the program to improve our residency training as a whole. A large outcome out of this effort was acquiring Good Shepherd as a rotation site. So Good Shepherd is an independent, CARF accredited, not-for-profit, standalone acute inpatient rehab hospital. And we've also retained our outpatient and EMG exposures over at Temple and our affiliate sites in the greater Philadelphia area. And we've also expanded the footprint that PM&R has in Temple Main Hospital. So we've expanded our consult service, our burn ICU and burn rehabilitation service, as well as our wound care service at Temple Main. So our first class of PGY2s participating in this new curriculum began in 2022, which was my class with me and Rocco. And the current applicants in your cohort will be the fourth year in this new curriculum participating with Good Shepherd, and they will ultimately be the 61st Temple PM&R residency class. So next slide. So our current rotation sites, we have Temple University Hospital with the surrounding campuses. We have Good Shepherd Rehab Hospital, which is both has outpatient departments and it has its large standalone inpatient facility. We have Bryn Mawr Rehabilitation Hospital, which is another standalone rehab in the greater Philadelphia area where we do brain injury medicine. And we have CHOP, where we do pediatric rehab. We do sports medicine at Crozier Health, rather. And we also tap into the subacute rehab space by doing rotations at Greater Philadelphia SNFs in the area. And we have our long-standing history with private practice clinics in the greater Philadelphia region. Notably, we have Pennsylvania Pain and Spine, which is interventional pain, private practice, high volume, where we get our hands wet with procedures as well, and Premier Orthopedics for sports medicine, as well as St. Chris, which is for pediatric sports medicine. So next slide. So didactics and call schedule, things that are very important for residents, of course. So we have our didactics are organized and blocked off time every Wednesday in the morning from 8 a.m. to 12 in person. Our didactics include grand rounds at Temple where every single resident in the program will present a 1-hour presentation. We have Good Shepherd grand rounds as well for the PGY2s up at Good Shepherd. We have Journal Club. We have MSK ultrasound curriculum as well, where we utilize the Sim Center over at the Temple Medical School, which is across the street from Temple Main. And this is, again, in a simulation center. So we work with standardized patients and we do ultrasound for the shoulder, elbow, wrist, hip, knee, and ankle. And since we're increasing our involvement with the medical school as well, we have more opportunities to interface with medical students for mentorship and research opportunities as well. Part of our didactics also include anatomy and physical exam, and we also participate in the city-wide courses for PM&R, including gait, EMG, prosthetics, and orthotics, as well as some spasticity workshops and things like that. And regarding our call, so it's a tiered hierarchical system, just like many other residencies in the country. So for PGY2 is where you take most of the call. And what it is it's in-house call at Good Shepherd when you're working on an inpatient rotation at Good Shepherd. It's 24 hours. It's every 7 to 8 days, and you get a post-call day after that day. PGY2s will also take holiday calls, so it's at Good Shepherd and when you're over at Good Shepherd, and they will take consult call when they're at the outpatient Temple region for over holidays. And whenever you're on as a PGY2, you get 1 month of outpatient at Temple. So on that 1 month, you'll have 1 weekend of outpatient consult called as well. And consult call, again, is just 8 to 5 during the day. As a PGY3, you get a little bit of that seniority kicks in. So you're largely doing outpatient and consults anyway as a PGY3. So your consults, you'll be on consult call as a PGY3, which works out to about 3 to 5 weekends in a year. And you do 2 months of EMG up at Good Shepherd, and you'll participate in the in-house call pool, but given the seniority, you won't work any weekends. And of course, no holidays as a PGY3 for call. And for PGY4, no calls whatsoever. So now, next slide. So just a little bit about our rotation sites. So Temple University Hospital here is Temple, Maine, a large acute tertiary care center, academic center, many different residency programs, and PM&R has a large footprint in this area. We have our exposure in burn ICU and burn rehabilitation. We also have our Temple Spine Center where PM&R is working, where we have interventional pain exposure, and we have our outpatient department at Temple where we're doing EMG, general PM&R outpatient, as well as non-operative chronic pain, and as well as some exposure to chemodenervation, amputee medicine, and regenerative medicine as well at Temple Main Hospital. Next slide. There we go. So we have all those different sites. That was off the top of my head over there. And this is the Temple Medical School. So right across the street, state-of-the-art facility, lots of different research labs and opportunities for collaboration, as well as the SIM Center, which is located here, where we work with standardized patients to do our ultrasound curriculum. Next slide. This is our TUH faculty. So you guys met Dr. Cruz at the beginning of this presentation, who is our program director. Our associate program director, Dr. Bana Mabibi, who's ACGME pain trained and works very closely with you for research and if you're interested in any fellowship opportunities after residency. And of course, our chairman, Dr. Sam Wu, as well as the other faculty that we have at Temple over here. Next slide. So over here, Rocco's going to take over for Good Shepherd.
All right, so hey guys, I'm Rocco. I'm a third year along with Ranjiv. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about Good Shepherd as a rotation site. So Good Shepherd Rehabilitation is an independent, not-for-profit rehab network with more than 60 locations in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So they're committed to helping patients of all ages and abilities with the rehab journey. Headquarter is in Center Valley, Pennsylvania, and they specialize in spinal cord injury, brain injury, stroke, major multi-trauma, pulmonary disease, respiratory failure, MSK and orthopedics, and neurologic diseases for adults and peds patients. Pretty comprehensive PM&R site. It's got a long tradition, basically founded in 1908. Originally to open up, it was called Good Shepherd Home to care for children with disabilities and senior citizens, filled an unmet community need, and since then they've just continued to grow and prosper. So they have, like Ranjiv mentioned, inpatient as well as outpatient rehab, LTAC care, long-term care, PM&R services, and rehab neuropsych services. It's independently owned, not-for-profit, with 2,200 employees. It's one of the 4 organizations internationally to be named Center for Robotic Excellence by Exobionics. There's nearly 500,000 outpatient visits annually with more than 40 outpatient locations in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. We get about 2,500 admissions to inpatient rehab and LTAC. And then we recently also accredited by like Reverend G mentioned, CARF, which is a Commission on Accreditation for Rehab Facilities for 6 different specialty programs. It's the gold standard in rehab care, and Good Shepherd's the only provider in the region to earn 6 accreditations. So it's a test site for also new and innovative rehab technologies. As you see there, a little bit further back around the corner of the top right picture, there's the Experience Center of the new hospital that they've, just recently built. Residents will be rotating there as well. They have VR, augmented reality, and all kinds of fancy stuff. So going over our attendings, at Good Shepherd, we have from the top left, Dr. Sandeep Singh. He's spinal cord injury trained CMO of the hospital. Dr. Klitsch, just to the right of him, and then Dr. Ward. Dr. James Daly is to the right of her. He's the only pediatric and adult prosthetic and orthotic specialist in the Allentown region. Starting on the second row with Dr. Andrew Reich. He's NAS sports and spine trained at UMich, and Dr. James Kim to the right of him.
So pivoting back to the curriculum. So our active 2023 to 2024 curriculum is as follows on this slide. I mean, new rotation sites may be added, particularly in the outpatient realm and in the PGY2 inpatient realm moving forward. But as we have it here, PGY2 is mostly in the Center Valley, Allentown, PA region. You have 10 months of acute inpatient rehab, and you have 2 months of outpatient. So you do general PM&R / MXK for while you're at Good Shepherd, and then you do 1 month of Temple outpatient that we mentioned earlier. PGY3 rather is localized more in the greater Philadelphia region. You're doing 2 months of brain injury at Bryn Mawr Rehab, which is a standalone rehab in the greater Philly area. And you have 2 months of EMG at GSRH. So that's Good Shepherd up in Allentown. And this is where you'll participate in the in-house call pool, but there's no weekends. And then you'll do 1 to 2 months of CHOP, which is pediatric rehab, 1 month of elective, and of course a mix of SNF and consults and things like that. And PGY4 is largely the same, where you do a mix of EMG at Temple, CHOP, Temple outpatient, and affiliate site outpatient rotations as well.
We have 2 minutes left.
All right. So that is largely what we wanted to share with you guys today. We have some photos here of our ultrasound. And if you guys have any questions, we'll just scroll through the rest of the slides here. This is our call room, our consult room over at Temple, Maine, a beautiful painting of the brachial plexus, and where we all hang out for our Temple rotations. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to enter the chat or speak up. And it's great. And it's an honor for us to present our program with you guys today. And thank you for sticking out all the way to the end. Thank you, everybody.
Well,
Rocco,
thank you so much for coming tonight. If anyone has any late questions, is there an email they can contact you at?
Absolutely. Feel free to email all one word Temple Chiefs, CHIEFS @gmail.com. I'll also write it in the chat. That reaches all 4 of the Temple Chief residents for us to be able to answer questions. Thank you very much.